I welcome everyone to this month's Igniting Souls Fellowship. And today we're going to be talking about how to have big influencers partner with us. I don't know anyone who would not want to have someone else's platform and borrow that, right? I know for myself, there's been many times that I have a great idea. I have something that I know the world needs. But how am I going to get it out there if I have such a small platform? And that's where Kary is going to teach us today how to partner with others to do that. What I love about the Igniting Souls culture is that we love to partner up. Everyone here I see in the live audience, I've seen people that have partnered together. I see Rick over there who's partnered with people. I see Erica who's partnered with Pat. There's something about getting together and working together to be able to make a bigger impact. And that's what we're all about. So whether you're live here or if you're online, we welcome you. And I want to welcome up to the stage our Chief Igniter, Kary Oberbrunner.
Awesome. Great to be with you guys today. How you doing?
Great.
Awesome. All right. Well, is that Chris too? You made the drive. You made the drive, man. Look at you. All right. Fantastic. Sometimes we have people from other cities, other states. So great to have you guys with us. If you're online, welcome. We're talking today about a very important topic, and let's jump right into it because, look, you made a sacrifice to be here. Time. Time is something you can never get back, and so I don't take it lightly. There was a quote by M. Scott Peck who says, until people value their time, they won't do anything valuable with it. And if you just say, I kill time, I waste time, and if you have that mindset in life, you're not going to be a good entrepreneur. You have to value yourself. Until you value yourself, you won't value your time. Did you hear that? Until you value yourself, you won't value your time. And as a result, I value each one of you, and online as well. I'd love to hear where people are from online. Go ahead and type in where you're from. We'll give a little shout out to you as well. Here's what you're going to discover today. Why partnering with big influencers is the quickest way to grow your brand. How many of you have heard online that you need to buy ads, you need to buy friends, buy followers? I know it sounds weird. Buy friends. I mean, think about that 50 years ago. How can I buy friends? No. But how many of you have been told, like, you need to go out and spend money to get a platform? Is that out there? Yeah. What about this? You need to build your own platform. You need to start your own podcast, your own channel, right? You guys have heard this as well? Well, I'm going to tell you that that's false. That's true that you can do it those two ways, but there's a better way that's going to actually help you in the long run. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about how to find big influencers. I mean, you don't go to a conference that says big influencers, and then you attend, and then you suddenly get people's platforms. There's a misnomer out there that you can just, corner people and get on their platform somehow. Not at all. We're going to talk about how do you identify the very best ones. Number 3, this is my favorite. This is where we're going to spend a lot of time today. A 3-step process to get big influencers to work with you. How many of you know that whatever your message is today, it could grow bigger and faster if you had a big influencer bring you on their stage? So just Chris. What about you, Claudio? You too? All right, Jeff as well. All right, just making sure you guys are listening. Normally we have a lot of women here. We got I think we're more men. That's a good thing. All right. Well, listen, we want to reward people who kind of share this today. Why? The content is free today. Okay, I'm giving you guys this for free. You didn't pay any admission. So I'm going to ask you to share it, and here's why. My mission, David's mission, he's my business partner over there, our mission is to ignite 1 million souls by 2020. And we have a lot of metrics in place, and this fall, we actually may hit that number a couple years earlier. David's done a fantastic job with our videos. My daily show is starting tomorrow. So I'm now going to have a daily show where Erica in the front and other people that are part of our team, they're going to get this into all kinds of channels. And all these channels are free. So I want to encourage you guys, if you share this, we're going to give you a free gift. It's called 7 Essentials for Creating a Killer Coaching Business. If you walked in the door today and said, I'm not a coach, I want to change that. You guys are actually coaches. Now, I'm not just talking about sports coaches. We have sports coaches in the room too. But all of you can coach on your own success path. Let me say that again. All of you can coach on your own success path. Lamar, I just met him in the front. You said your business is personal assistant, right?
Correct.
That's a service provider, but what else could he do? He could coach other people. I don't mean to steal you away from your current clients, but that's actually where even more of the money is. Did you guys catch that? So he has his clients, and then he has clients. Clients who say, well, you know what? I'm a stay-at-home dad. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Whatever. I want to transition. I have 10 hours a week. I want to be a personal assistant. Can you coach me on how to do that? Did I just plant that seed in your head? Uh-oh. All right, watch out. I tell you, you come to these events, man. Watch out, all right? So who's watching online, Erica? Who do we have? What are some places, countries, whatever?
We have the UK.
The UK. All right, let's give the UK a hand. Yeah. Now, I might be going to the UK here in November, but it's 5 hours ahead, 6 hours ahead, so good job, middle of the day. Who else do we have? Tennessee. All right, I like Tennessee.
Michigan.
Oh, well, we won't talk about Michigan around here. No, we love Michigan. My wife's from Michigan. Awesome. So we got a lot of good people. Great. Go ahead, share where you're from. That would be fantastic. Erica's going to drop in a free link for this training. So all of you who are here as well, we're going to give you that. What is it? KaryOberbrunner.com/coaching. Is that what it is? And you guys are going to be able to get this training. You can watch it, and it will literally help you with 7 essential elements you need to create a coaching business. So that's a free training that David just created. Thank you, David. But it's KaryOberbrunner.com/coaching. That's just a bonus for coming today. And why would you want to watch that? Because later in April, we're actually going to be opening up our coaching teams as well. And you might say, well, gee, here's just some of our coaches. We're looking for a few more. And if you want to take sad people and make them happy people, we actually teach you all about how to use your secret name, deeper path, and day job to dream job. And you can actually become coaches and speakers and trainers. Keep all your own income. We hook you up, and you go out and you coach, speak, and train, and you keep 100% of your own income. So it's kind of cool. We have over 200 coaches internationally now, and we're growing. So these are our different teams, and we're opening that up on April 23rd. It's closed now, but we'll be doing that on April 23rd. There's some of our people. Renee, bottom right there. Oh, yeah. And we love to do quarterly online trainings, and it's just fantastic. Well, let's jump right in with the content today. Again, if I'm new to you, I'm a bald dude with a girl's name. Okay, that's how you can remember me. And I personally have benefited from partnerships. In other words, why am I so passionate about this training today? It's not because, I'm going to sell you at the end a 3-step program to get people to partner with you. I'm giving it to you for free. But by starting out, let me say, Brian Tracy. Now, some of you are like, Brian Tracy, who the heck's that? Google him, okay? He's one of the most highly successful business authors. He's huge. I think he's got 57 books, so he beats me by a whole bunch. But anyway, they call me up, and they say, hey, Brian's speaking in Green Bay, Wisconsin at a leadership and longevity conference. Can you come and speak with him? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And I tied a Packer game to it too. How cool was that? I said, absolutely. Now, let me just give you some tips, okay? This is just straight up tips. I was kind of a rookie back then. My suit's like 3 sizes too big, but who cares, right? Who cares? There's probably a funeral I went to and I bought it at Goodwill or something. But listen, I'm just being real, right? You guys want real today or you want fake? Anybody want real? So I'm sitting there and I see a photographer, and I say, oh, I didn't bring my own photographer. So I meet her on the break, and I say, how much would it cost for me to pay you to take pictures with Brian Tracy and I? Is that smart? Absolutely. She's like, $20. I'm like, yeah. So I got Brian over there, and she's taking photographs. Why? Because I know Brian has a much bigger platform, and I want to hook Brian up. So here's what I did. Found out his quote. Found out his mantra, his motto. Had a personally engraved Amish wooden pen in a wooden box mailed to him. You think that was good? Think that's pretty smart? Found out some of his team and started, treating them nice too, right? What did it serve me in the end? I wasn't looking for, Brian hook me up, Brian connect me. I'm going to teach you guys about a mindset today. If you walk around trying to befriend people so you can get, do you think they can tell?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think they can tell? I just gave. So when it came time for Day Job to Dream Job, my book, 2 years later, guess who wrote the endorsement? Brian Tracy. Okay, listen. Influencers don't wait until you need them. Let me say that again. That's huge. Do not wait until you need influencers. It's too late. You don't go and say, oh, I just finished my book. Now, who can I start a relationship with so that by Friday they can write me an endorsement? You see that? You guys catching? You need to basically build your relationships with influencers before you need them. So if you're like, oh, crud, I'm 2 years too late. No, you're not. Today, you can start. All right? Today, you guys can start. Here's Darren Hardy. Darren Hardy, this is a special VIP gathering. I paid extra money to be there. Seriously. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to the event anyway, I'm going to pay a few $100s more. Why? Private lunch, pictures, special session. If you're going to pay anyways, you might as well pay a few $100 extra and get the VIP so that you can begin to get closer to that person. We're going to talk about that. That's one of the secrets, okay? Proximity. That's later on in the talk. I'm going to give you guys. There's 3 P's. I'm a former pastor. Everything's 3 with the same letter, right? You get right? Right, Claudio? He's giving me the thumbs up. All right. He thinks I'm crazy. Les Brown. Anyone ever hear of Les Brown?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Les Brown? Everybody's stealing from Les Brown on his motivational videos, right? All you do is go to YouTube and type in motivational video. It's Les Brown's voice. And he's just pumping you up. That guy pumps me up. There's Mark Sanborn. Mark Sanborn wrote the foreword for my book. I didn't know him, but I knew that he went to The Ohio State University. And I thought, look, how can I connect this guy? How can I hook this guy up with stuff, with something? So I study people. And then I found out he was speaking at the corporate place in Columbus. What did I do? You guys know what I did? I came early. I had lunch with him. And I sat in the front row. And I tweeted everything he said. And I took pictures. And I put it all out on social media for him. Now, he didn't say, when you come, young man, you sit in the front row. And no. I made this guy on social media that day look like the smartest guy in the world. Because he is, So when it came time for me to do my foreword, I thought, who could I ask? And I never assume, but I wrote this, very easy, simple step process that if he was willing to do the foreword, would he? And he said yes. And it's been amazing. Now, anytime people search for my name on Amazon or Mark Sanborn, they find my name too. You see how powerful it is when you partner with somebody? Let's go to the next one. John Maxwell, here he is, handing me the microphone, saying, talk, share on my stage, like literally, okay? There's Nick Vujicic, anyone ever hear of him, right? Dan Miller, we're going to talk about him later on, and Michael Hyatt, all right? So here's the point. I am a beneficiary of influencers letting me use their platform. That's why I feel like I want to give back to you and show you how to have the same thing happen to you. Would that be cool? Welcome. Glad you're here.
Sorry we're late.
No, you're great. Hey, listen. I was just complimenting the men because I said for the first time ever we have more guys. Now 3 ladies just walked in, and now the guys are down again. Guys, you need to bring more. You need to bring more people. All right, no, welcome. It's great to have you here. You guys ready? Ready for some of the tips, tricks, and tools?
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, I got a few more slides. Let me just go through them. I've never taken a business class in my life. Let me say that again, formally. I've never taken a business class in my life. I've never taken an entrepreneurship class in my life. Here I am, the top iTunes podcast in the world on entrepreneurs, and I'm on 3 times. How did that happen? I'm going to show you guys how today, okay? All right. That was a poster boy strategy. That's the second P, poster boy. Actually, poster child. I made it gender neutral, okay? Poster child. But we're going to talk about that later. Anyone ever see The Shawshank Redemption? Guess what? There's the warden helping me launch my book. How does that happen? The 3 tips I'm teaching you today. In other words, if I just came up and said, hey, I got 3 tips, I hope they work, you'd be like, what the heck, I'm out of here. This works. There's the #1 movie of all times is voted by the people, The Shawshank Redemption. That makes him the #1 villain of all time in Hollywood. And there he is helping me launch my book, Day Job to Dream Job, okay? So right now, here's your first question. You got to do this. Why? Because do you want partners or not? If you don't know who they are, you have already lost. Identify the influencer or ers that would help you grow your book, brand, or business. I want you to be bold. I want people to laugh at you, okay? Why? Because they probably laughed at me. You're going to get who? A Hollywood celebrity to endorse your book? You don't know anybody in Hollywood. You're right, I don't. But there you go. It happened. So I want you to blow somebody's mind up. And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I want you to turn to the person near you, and I want you to wow them. If you just say, the bagger at Kroger, I'm going to hit you upside the head, okay? Come on now. Now, if the bagger from Kroger is really going to help you, put it down. But if they're not, don't think small, okay? By the way, sometimes the baggers at Kroger's are like the secret next Mark Zuckerberg, so maybe you should partner with them. All right, 30 seconds, meet your friend next to you, group, whatever, and tell them who your big influencer is. Erica's going to ask people online. Erica, I want you to start typing and asking people, what's your big influencer? 30 seconds, go, and then we're coming right back. Go.
Yeah.
All right, 10 seconds. Share it quick. All right, here we come. We're coming back. We're coming back. If you just joined us, welcome. We're talking about 3 steps on how to get big influencers to partner with you. I just spent the first few minutes telling you about some of the success stories, how it does work, how I've been a beneficiary of that. We just asked you to identify the influencers. Shout them out, Joel. Who's one you had?
Kary Oberbrunner.
All right. Well, who's another one you had?
Patrick Lencioni.
Patrick Lencioni. Awesome. Some people are like, who's that? It doesn't matter. Who else? Who else has one?
Jeff Brown.
Jeff Brown. Like from Read the Lead podcast?
Yep.
He's coming to the Igniting Souls Conference. Do you got a strategy? You're going to get one. All right. Yeah, you're going to get one. All right. We have a VIP meet and greet that some of those things happen. Anybody else? This side. We're lacking on this side. Derek.
Brian Watts.
Brian Watts. Who's that?
CEO of Huntington.
Sweet. All right. We hid his picture so Brian doesn't know that he's coming after him. All right. So Derek's going after Brian. I love it. What about online, Erica? Do we have anybody?
Jenna Korf, Mercedes Diaz, Beth Moore, Danny Johnson, Rick Warren.
Sweet. All right. Fantastic. Look at that. You guys ready for the strategy on how to partner with these people? Here we go. Here's the first one. First step. Step number 1. Why partnering with big influencers is the quickest way to grow your brand. This is called a platform. I'm on a platform. A platform is a buzzword today that we use. It means that it's a place where people can see and hear you. It's a place. It doesn't even need to be physical. It could be virtual space. You can have a virtual platform. But without the ability to be seen and heard, your message will not connect with people. True? Without the ability to be seen and heard, your message will not be able to connect with people. We live in a world today that whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, someone can post or tweet something and it can take stocks down billions of dollars. Does anyone know who a few months ago on Instagram quoted, not on Instagram, on Snapchat quoted, "Is this thing even cool anymore? Is this thing lame?" Does anyone know that person?
Isn't that a Kardashian or something?
A Kardashian sister or something? Imagine if you own Snapchat and you're like, how is this woman posting, is Snapchat still cool, and our stock loses millions of dollars in a matter of 30 seconds. Now, if platform was not real, that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't be true. We live in a world today where platform, for a lot of things, is everything. Now, I'm not saying let's talk about that from a spiritual standpoint, and should we really do that? But listen, if you're a faith-based person, welcome. You can look at Jesus and who he brought together in his 12. He brought some pretty wild people, didn't he? He brought a zealot. Those dudes, zealots, used to carry knives with them at public gatherings and create drama with knives, right? I mean, he had a tax collector. So we can talk all about this. All I'm saying is, if you tend to say, well, I'm a faith-based person, and you try to tell me why platform is important, what did God put above the stable? Anybody? Do you think that was for platform purposes? Anybody? I mean, let's think about it, right? It attracted the wise men, right? So here's the point. I think that we live in a world where Christian, non-Christian, business, arts and culture, platform touches all of us. We get the term platform from the old days where they had boxes. What do we call these boxes? Soap boxes. Literally, you're in the marketplace, lots of noise, everyone's telling you to buy this, go there, do this. Suddenly what they do, this is unplanned, they grab something like this. And it's a soap box, and suddenly, boom, now they can be tall. Some of you are naturally tall, like you. You don't even need a soap box. But the other thing is, now I'm suddenly taller. Now people can see and hear me. Well, especially in our digital world, that's what platform is. Now, they did a little experiment. Some of you know my quick story about him. Does anyone know his name? Joshua Bell. Joshua Bell. Here's the point. He's got $1 million in his hand right now. Okay, that's a pretty important violin. He makes $1,000 a minute to play violin. People don't even cough at his concerts. I don't know how to not do that. I mean, maybe they just cough in their mouth. I don't know. But the guy is one of the best violinists in the world. So they do a little strategy, a little case study. Let's put him in the subway. Now, we won't tell people he's famous, so let's see if they just find talent naturally. This is very important for some of you in the room right now. I'll tell you why. You're just as good as Joshua Bell at what you do. Let me say that again. You are just as good as what Joshua Bell is to violin, to your book, brand, or business. But here's the point. They didn't stop. They didn't stop. He's the best in the world, and they walk by. And we have my former fine arts teacher in the room from college, Pete Gannell. How did they not recognize him, man?
He was not in a concert hall.
He was not in a concert hall. So, only the little kids stop. Isn't that interesting? The little kids with mom and dad go into the subway and back and forth. They stop, and the moms and dads say, go, come on, we got more important things to do. We got to go meet important people. Boom, right here. They counted the cash after 45 minutes. How much does he make a minute? They found $28. And he's playing the most important, crazy, complicated pieces in the world. Now, I love that story because he's probably inside thinking like, I stink, right? Isn't he? Come on. Right? He's probably wondering like, what's going on? Is it me? What's going on? $1 million violin. Here's the point. He didn't have a platform. He didn't have a platform. So they didn't recognize his talent. Some of you do not have a platform, and so the world is not paying you for your products and services when they should be. True? Is that a good point? All right, what about online, Erica? Are people like just, Or are people like, yes, I've heard of that, Washington, D.C., Josh Bell. I'd love for people online to say if they've ever felt that way. Look, I want you to stop playing small. I'm gonna try to pump you up a little bit today in a real way. Because if some of you think, well, I'm not a Josh Bell at what I do, until you believe it, no one else is gonna believe it. Okay, let me say it again. People buy belief. And if you have zero belief, and by the way, I'm very qualified to talk on this topic, if anybody is. Why? Because I used to be a cutter. Think about that. If anybody didn't see their own worth, it was me. I was the guy who made it through life self-injuring. Even at the age of 23, while a pastor in my first church. Privately, that was my last year that I self-injured. Crazy. Now, if I struggle with self-limiting beliefs, do you guys think you do too? Do we all struggle with self-limiting beliefs? Absolutely. Some of you are not speaking. You do, right? I know you do. You self-injure in different ways. You say, I'm not good enough. Why would people listen to me? I didn't go to that school. What do I have? I'm not like that person. And as long as you keep living in that mindset, no one's going to want to partner with you. Why would someone lower themselves to partner with you if you think you're nothing? Now, let me tell you a quick story about a guy who beat a giant. You know his name? David, right? David actually thought he was something. Now, I know we try to spiritualize everything and say, wow, he had zero self-motives. He asked twice what you get if you killed a giant. Read it again. Okay? Read it again. If you just think David is this perfect guy with no selfish motives. Look, I think God is a rewarder of those who seek him. I think that's a Bible verse. So here's the point. Stop thinking, well, I got to have selfless motives before I ever serve the world. No. Serve them anyway. Even with your messed up motives, serve people anyway, because you're never going to have 100% pure motives. Give to people. Serve them. Walk around with that mindset. David must have thought, you know what? Maybe God can use my sling. Some of you have a sling. You don't have a sword today. You don't have this awesome weapon. You got this little sling that you used to practice as a kid in the backyard, metaphorically speaking. Use that. Use that. Cool? So here's 3 ways to get a platform. You can buy it. You can build it, or you can borrow it. Let me say it again. 3 ways to get a platform. Buy it, build it, borrow it. I'm not saying you only borrow it. Okay, so hear me out. I'm not saying just borrow it and that's it. But I am saying that is the quickest, best, fastest, strongest way to build a platform is to borrow somebody else's. We see it all day long. All day long. Do you think Michael Jordan knows anything about underwear? Please, someone tell me. I mean, do you think he spends time, weaving and he knows the different... Come on now, right? We see people every day, all day, borrowing other people's platforms. Companies borrowing other people's platforms, like athletes. But it happens with people like you and me as well. It happens. I'm going to give you prime time examples here. Buying it cost money. Building it cost time. Borrowing it cost creativity. Let me say it again. Don't miss that. Buying a platform cost money. And some of you say, Kary, I don't have much. That's okay. Building it takes time. Borrowing it takes creativity. When I'm a publisher, I never thought I'd be a publisher. We have over 500 authors. How many of you were publishing your book in the room? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Renee, Joel, not Joel yet, soon Joel. Rick, Chris. Awesome. Here's the point. Here's the point. I forget what the point was. Actually, I forget what the point was. But here's the point. Here's the point. Podcasts. Authors come to me all the time and say, "Hey, Kary, to get my book launched, I'm going to start my own podcast." I'm thinking, what are you crazy? You're going to start your own podcast with zero traffic, and what you've just said, how often is your podcast going to be? Once a week. Okay. You've just said, I'm going to create 52 products a week, and right? 52 products a year, and get paid zero. And how much traffic do you have? Zero. Why would you do that? Instead, why not spend a little creativity and get on 10 other podcasts that each have 1,000 people already? You see where I'm going with this? You see where I'm going with this? You gotta learn how to borrow other people's platforms. All right, so we already answered what's the quickest way to grow your brand by borrowing platforms. Now let's go to number 2. How to find big influencers in your space and how to identify the very best ones. So I tell people often, clarity attracts, confusion repels. Big partners, big influencers do not partner with confused people. All right, let me just say that again. Big influencers do not want to partner with confusing people. Why? Why? Anybody? Why do you think they have a big platform?
They don't confuse anybody.
Because they're clear. Even if they have a lot of people hate them, it's because they're clear. Right? Is this true? Name a big influencer who is not clear. And I know you're probably going to name some. We mentioned the Kardashians or somebody out there. Maybe their brand is clear because it's crazy or confusing. And you watch and you say, well, at least my life's not like that, right? So there's some brands out there that that is their clarity. That they are crazy, confusing, all right? And we can talk about that, but we're not going to because that's a whole other topic. Clarity attracts, confusion repels. So you might say, well, that's nice, Kary. That's real nice, Kary. You can say that. That gives me nothing. Okay, you ready for an exercise? Ready for a quick exercise? Anybody? Not involving your heart rate, okay? All right, this is involving your computer or your pen here. This is one of the first things David and I do with our clients. We say, what is your VPS? What? Not your GPS, although your VPS becomes your GPS. Did you catch that? Your VPS becomes your GPS. And David, I think battery here. I'm going to throw it to you far. Cool. Your VPS becomes your GPS. Value proposition statement. You can take photographs. I don't care. I'm here to give you value today if you want that. But let me give you a prime time example. You ready? You ready to see our 7-figure VPS? You ready? And trust me, when I was a pastor 6 years ago, I did not know this. And I might say, well, gee, why didn't you know it? Because why I'm here today is a result of knowing my VPS. Remember that? So Susan, I used to be your pastor. Great to have you here. By the way, I love your Facebook posts. I watch them all the time. You have a lot of creativity ones. The other day you said on your Facebook, name a time you had your worst haircut. And I was able to post, I don't have that problem. Remember that? You had all these women and men crying and stuff on the Facebook post, and I just put, I've never had that problem. Unless I was 5. But here's the point. I know Susan's VPS, right? I know Joel's VPS. But do you know your VPS? Here's another way to think about it. Your I am is your identity. Who are you? I'm a consultant. I'm a coach. I'm a trainer. I'm a speaker. I'm an athlete. I'm a provoker. I'm a whatever. Anybody else? Share one that if I missed and it touches you. Anybody? Anybody else? I am something? Teacher. Influencer. Love it. Who helps? That is your tribe. Do you help? Stay-at-home dads. Do you help? Small businesses. Do you help? 7-figure businesses. Do you help? Missionaries. I am blank. Who helps blank? Do or understand. People want to give you cash. If you can't tell them what they will understand or do as a result of working with you, you got nothing. Let me give you an example. We call this the drive-through drill, okay? Imagine driving to a fast food restaurant. You pull up to the window. My friends told me to come to you. They said you have great food. What do you have? And the guy says, hang on 1 second. Bill, what do we have here? And Bill says, I don't know. We're not sure. Are you continuing to do business with the fast food or with the restaurant? Likely. Anybody? No. You drive off. Clarity attracts, confusion repels. Some of you have had the drive-through drill at a networking event. And someone's driven up to your window and said, tell me what you do. And 35 minutes later, you still haven't told them what you do. Right? Has this ever happened to anybody? Used to happen to me all the time. And then I said, well, gee, I must, no one wants to do business with me. What's the problem? Confusion. You help them do or understand so that what? What is the transformation that you're creating in the person? What are they experiencing? Here they came before, and now they'll come here after. Show us. You guys ever see those weight loss things? The person looked like this, and then afterwards they looked like this, right? Or the makeover person, they looked like this, then they look like this. People need to see that. If I choose to work with you and hire you, tell me what I'm going to look like afterwards. And if you can zero in on probably their pain points about how they look and feel now, and then show them afterwards, that's amazing. You guys like this?
Yeah.
All right, Joel likes it. So here's the point. The website's being changed, but here is our website. In other words, you can't even get 10 seconds into our website without seeing exactly what my VPS is. I'll read it for you. I'm an author, coach, and speaker who helps individuals and organizations clarify. Why are people buying things from me? Anybody? Clarity. You hear that? Now you might say, but your brand's igniting souls. Yes, but I'm helping people get clarity around who they are. That's identity. By the way, which book of that is mine? Okay. Why they're here, purpose. Which book is that? Deeper Path. And where they're going, direction. What book is that? So they can become a soul on fire. That's the brand, Igniting Souls. Experience unhackability. What book is that? Elixir Project. And share their message with the world. And how do we help people share their message with the world?
Business Academy.
And Author Academy Elite, both those. In other words, what I just took people on is a VPS, and here's the big trick that no one really does. All you do is you tie products and services. If you tie a product and service to your VPS, this is called a buyer's journey. And there was nothing wrong when I was a pastor. I loved it, but I knew God was telling me there's more. And if you're 80% alive, you're what? 20% what? Dead. And so I knew there were things we needed to do. So I didn't arrive on the scene. Welcome, by the way. Grab a seat anywhere. Awesome. More women. I was making a joke that the guys were winning. Now we're losing big time. Come on, guys. They're all late. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. We love everybody. We love everybody. All I'm saying is, guys, I'm a bald dude that struggled with a learning disability in school, speaking, that used to cut himself, self-injuring, and today, David and I have the deep privilege and honor of having a global brand that has turned into a 7-figure business. How? Clarity attracts. If you guys walk away today and you say, well, that was a nice VPS exercise, but who cares? You made your decision. Don't blame me when people don't want to partner with you with an unclear VPS. So what is your first action item today? Anybody? Create a VPS. Create a VPS. All right, you ready? Let's go to the third one now. So how to find big influencers in your space and identify the very best ones. Let's go back. How do you find influencers? You write your VPS. And how do you find the very best ones? Look for other influencers with a clear VPS. Do you really want to stand on somebody's stage that's unclear with their VPS? Anybody? No. In fact, it's a brand risk for you. You want your clarity and their clarity to overlap. And when it does, partnership is much more probable. Let me say it again. If your influencer has a clear VPS and you have a clear VPS and there's overlap, the chances of partnering are much higher. I should not partner with women who want to create, services to find nannies. Now, I can help them, but would I ever, make that a brand match? No, because we're not doing that. And so sometimes you ask partners very obvious questions. It's like, hey, can we partner together? You're in technology and I'm in hair care. Okay? So you need to show the bridge. It might match, but you need to show the bridge. Okay? So let's jump now on you're going to love this. This is all new. David and I just talked about this a week ago. We sat down and we said, look, fellowship's coming. What are the 3 things that we want to give people? Here they are. Number 1, proximity. Proximity, there's a phrase, proximity is power. That's not my own. I won't take credit for that. I think it's Tony Robbins, who knows, but proximity is power. Let me talk about that. You need to get close to your influencer. Let me let you into a little world here, and you already know the answer. Do you think other people are asking influencers if they can use their platform? Anybody? Do you think every day influencers are being asked if they can share their platform? Do you think they're sick of people asking? Yes. There is no influencer that I know who's really big who says, I hope somebody emails me today or calls me and says, can I use your stage to pitch my own products and services? No influencer is saying it. In fact, they're saying the opposite. The longer you can withhold the ask, the better. You shouldn't even ask. I'm going to give you steps here that if you really want to have high conversion rates, that's not even on your mouth. That's not even in your mind. Okay? Why? Because people can tell. People can absolutely tell, are you talking to me just so you can stand on my stage? Or are you talking to me to actually, because you like me? Okay? Proximity is power. Here's our video channel. I share this for a reason. There are 12 videos here. One is promoting the Author Academy Awards. One is me sharing at the fellowship with Brian. I'm promoting him right there. There's Renee. None of these videos are me alone. Did you catch that? I have 12 videos on our channel. I'm promoting Jeannie. I'm promoting Laura. I'm promoting Wendy. I'm promoting Amy. I'm promoting Lisa. I'm promoting Aaron and Lori. I love to promote people. Did you catch that? I'm not teaching this and say, but don't look at my channel because I don't promote anybody. I have said, God, if you ever give me any platform, I will absolutely try to find natural and authentic ways, because if it's not natural and authentic, people, if I say, guys, I'm drinking purified water today. You should drink purified water. Whatever. That sends your tribe running when they smell that. Like, how much did this guy get paid to do that? I didn't get paid to do any of this. I love to promote people in a natural and authentic way. I actually think of strategies sometimes before I go to bed or while I'm running where I think, how can I promote people? How can I promote other people that have a great message in the world? I actually think about that often. And then we do it. Here's another screenshot. There's a lot of me promoting Joel, Lisa, I'm promoting some people I don't even know because they're Business Academy Elite students. David said, was that Catherine? And other people. All right, because David's like, you got to promote these people. I'm like, fantastic, let's do it. There's me promoting Skip down there, Brad, and Joel. Again, you got twice, Joel. Look at you, man. All right, now I'm going to talk about Joel for a reason, all right? I'm going to talk about Joel for a reason in just a second. Now, I love to promote people. I really do. Here's Nanette. Here's Nanette O'Neill, a fiction author. She became one of our students. So I'm going to give you guys 3 strategies on how to do this, okay? So here's Nanette, Doorway Back to Forever. She wrote a book. Now, when I wrote Elixir Project, I don't know what I'm doing. I wrote fiction. I don't know what I'm doing with fiction. So what did I do? I emailed Nanette and said, can you be a beta reader? Can you be a beta reader? Now, she didn't say, that'll be $19.95, like $1,995. She's like, absolutely. You've been my coach. I want to help you. I didn't tell her I wouldn't pay her, but she's like, yeah, I'll totally do that. So she read it quick, and she gave me constructive criticism, all right? By the way, Erica, can you share that? We got a free book for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a free book link if you're like, hey, how do you write a fiction book and turn it into a business? Read that book. It's a strategy. Elixir.KaryOberbrunner.com, free book, just covers shipping and handling. But here's the point. What does she say on her bio? I can't read that, Lamar. I don't even have my glasses on. Can you read that? What that says?
What, the managing editor?
Managing editor at Author Academy Elite. Did you catch that? In other words, she didn't say, Kary, can I have a job? She practiced what I'm about to teach you. I've hired her now. She's one of the managing editors at Author Academy Elite. Now, what is she doing over here? The Guild. The Guild is my private certified ghostwriters, editors, and proofreaders that we created. I made her the managing editor at the Guild. In other words, when I create things, I look for really smart people and say, you followed the model I'm going to teach here. I'm hiring you. If you want. You can say no. But now she's so proud, it's #1 on her Facebook profile. And she was a student. Did you catch that? Isn't that cool? Here's another one. Abby. Abby's birthday was yesterday. So on Facebook, you got to give some love to Abby over there. But someone came to me and said, hey, do you need help? And I'm like, I don't know. Well, maybe. Let's give it a try. So we give Abby a try as customer service. She keeps showing up filled up. She keeps practicing the model I'm going to teach. That what we said to her is, hey, she showed up at Igniting Souls conference. So here's her and Daphne at the airport saying we're on our way to the Igniting Souls conference. People fly from all over the world to be there. And it's right here in Columbus. She kept practicing what I'm about to teach. I made her co-managing editor. So now her and Nanette are running Author Academy Elite editing side and the Guild, which is certified ghostwriters, proofreaders, and editors. Isn't that cool? All right. And then we brought her into the inner circle, and Renee's in there too, and some other Erica's in there. But they helped run the conference. In other words, David and I actually look for people to promote, to say, you have a... You know what Abby was doing before this? She was running her own editing thing on the side, just, for a few hours here and there. We connected her now to a publishing house, and her influence is expanding. I'm probably going to say way too much than I should about Abby, but I'm just going to say one last thing. We had a talk in the beginning, and I said, Abby, you can either run your own business, good luck, or I said, you can come in for whatever time you want, and we're going to teach you all about entrepreneurship. We're going to teach you about business development. We're going to teach you about structure. And you know what? It's my job and David's as their, person who pays the bills or pays their fee. We need to make the job creative. In other words, if she looks around and says, this is boring, I could do this in my sleep. Like, our job when we hire people is to make it crazy, fun, challenging, and so people want to stay. Is that true? You're not too big, you're not too small to have a freelancer. I hear this all the time. David hears this all the time. I'm too small to have a team. No, you're not. You can have a team on Fiverr. You know who's a big team of ours? Fiverr, Fiverr.com. It's a pool of entrepreneurs that you can hire for $5 to do anything. Not anything, but you know what I'm saying, right? Not sell drugs or anything like that. But you get the point, right? The other day someone comes to me, an author, and says, well, I'd really like to do your program, but I speak Russian. Guess where I'm at right now? Fiverr. How do you translate from English to Russian? $5. Boom. You see what I'm saying? Like, stop believing the lies and the excuses. Well, I need thousands of dollars and this and this. You need $5, and you can have a team. All right? All right, number 2. So what was number 1? Anybody? Proximity. These people kept finding ways to get close. Let me say that again. These people kept finding ways to get close in proximity because they know sooner or later, David and Kary, at least Kary's pretty clueless, David's not, Kary's going to need some help. And if I'm close to him and I keep showing up filled up and I keep finding ways, this is what you do for your person. This is what you do for Patrick Lencioni. Joel, have you ever spent 10 minutes thinking about how, and maybe you have, how you can help Patrick Lencioni with your PR expertise?
Yes.
Excellent. You see that? Joel's a guru at PR, media relations, and he said, now, do you think you would charge Patrick?
No.
No. Did you catch this? Part of what I'm going to share is that with big influencers, you fight your way not to pay, not to have them pay. Why? Why do I share that? Let's talk about that psychologically.
They'll owe you one or feel like they want to help you.
They'll feel like they owe you one. I like that. I would have said a little bit nicer, but yeah. No. Listen, do friends charge friends often? So when you say, hey, you have a need, here's my skill set, I want to find a way to help you. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Do you think that... Here's what I know. Here's what I know about influencers. Influencers love to get even. Influencers will fight to get even. If you hook an influencer up, they're angry if they can't reciprocate. Do you guys agree? You guys agree? Yeah. They sit there and say, no. Because here's why. Here's the big trick. Here's the big trick. Most influencers had to borrow somebody else's stage to get where they are. Did you catch that? Most influencers had to borrow somebody else's stage to get where they are. And so they know that when you're hooking them up and connecting them, they feel like, you know what? I'm a beneficiary of somebody else helping me. I got to help that person. Now, you won't find this in victim-minded people. You won't find this in scarcity-minded influencers. Sure, there's influencers out there who are rude and cruel and mean and evil and just want what they can get. I'm talking about, though, the abundant-minded influencers. Those are probably the ones you want anyway, right? All right, number 2, position. Position. Give first, get later. Give first, get later. Position. Now, I practice what I preach. Here's a guy, Dan Miller. Now, I didn't say one day, you know what? It's 2014, 2013. I want Dan Miller, the New York Times best-selling author, I want him to be in my back corner. No, I didn't do that at all. I found a way to give to Dan, and it was, hey Dan, I want to hook you up with with the Shawshank 20th anniversary. I felt like I had a few connections with Shawshank. Little did I know, Joanne, his wife, and her estranged father was a prison guard at this place. Isn't that great? Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Because what Dan doesn't know is I gave the same invitation to 6 other influencers. And they all, I basically said, who are the 7 influencers I want at this event? Sent out the invitations. 6 denied me. So, hear what I'm saying, folks. You're not going to bat 1,000. 6 denied me. Some didn't even talk to me and return my message. Some said, hey, I kindly have to decline. Dan says, Joanne just opened your package with Shawshank memorabilia and started crying. And I'm like, oh my, what did I do? Uh-oh. Her dad, her estranged dad, was a prison guard, and we're coming. And this is gonna be healing. And we're coming to that event. I'm like, whoa. Did I say, well, here's your hotel that you need to pay for. Here's your meals that you need to pay. What do you think I did? I said, here's your itinerary, here's your ticket, here's your hotel, boom, 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 boom. Hook them up. Now, a few weeks later, I hear podcast traffic coming our way. They're like, Dan just shared about your event on the podcast. Dan said it was one of the craziest, coolest events he's ever been to. Dan this, Dan that. So then what happens is Dave and I look at each other and say, we need to do Escaping Shawshank event. We need to do Escaping Shawshank event. You see that little red folder that she's holding? I spent 40 hours writing a proposal. 40, without any promise. 40 hours I wrote a proposal and said, we need to have an event called Escaping Shawshank. It's going to be helping people break free from the prison holding them back. We're going to lock them in prison cells. Not for real, but put them in prison cells. They're going to deal with what's holding them back in their jobs and relationships. We have this crazy cool event. Crazy. Was anybody there at that event? All right. Crazy event. Awesome event. Now, I share another picture in the top left. It's a Tennessee, what do you call that? I don't even know, what do you call it? Snowpocalypse pileup? It's pretty crazy. You guys know that happened 2 months ago. Why do I take that picture? Because I was in it. All right? Now, here's why. Dan said, we're having a Zig Ziglar event. We're going to honor him. There's going to be all kinds of cool people there. I want you there. I said, I'm there. In other words, position. I say, I want to help. Whatever Dan needs, I want to help him out. Whatever. Don't even ask questions. David, you and I were chatting the other day, and we said, what do we say? Dan is so good to us. Dan is so good to us. We've partnered on so many things together. We've published so many dozens of his people. It all started by me saying, well, I might get rejected, but I'm going to actually email 7 people and invite them. You see? And 6 rejected me. You will get rejected. If you try to partner with influencers, you will get rejected. You better get thick skin because your message is worth it. Right? True? Here's the event. I know it looks like Count Dracula, and we changed the branding to Much Happier. David, we put David's face up there. He's a happier dude. But the point is this. It happened. All right? I took this picture today, Joel. This showed up on my Facebook feed. Now, this was, what does it say, Lamar? In the top right corner, how many years ago?
4 years ago.
4 years ago, Joel, today, 4 years ago today, we're having an Igniting Souls Fellowship, and Joel was adding value to this dude. Now, don't say this guy's name if you know it. Don't say it. Don't take a picture and show him. But I don't know where that guy is. 4 years later, I don't know where that guy is. 4 years later, where's Joel? Right here.
I think I scared him away that day.
I think you did. I think you did. Yeah, I think he looks scared. He's like, dude, you're too cute. He's like, dude. But here's the point. Here's the point. Joel is here today. I don't know where the other guy is. Joel chose to keep saying, I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep investing. I'm going to position myself that whatever these guys need, we're going to help them. And you know what we've done as a result? I help Joel anytime I can. So here's me giving an endorsement to him for his 30 Days to a Bigger Stage program. Why? He didn't say, well, I'm gonna hang around Kary so I can get. The dude gives so much. Who is the MC at the Elixir Project Global Release? Anybody? Joel. How much did I pay you, Joel? Nothing. Oh, I owe you. But here's the point. Here's the point, right? Friends help friends. So when Joel was going to launch this product that we certainly don't have, I don't have a 30 Days to a Bigger Stage that helps people with PR and getting booked on interviews and TV and radio. I said, I'm absolutely going to help him. In fact, we just created our own program called Author Academy, which is all the marketing. And I said, Joel, we're going to pay you. Everyone who comes in Author Academy, we're going to write you a check. and I want them to go through your course. You see how crazy that is? This happens, guys. This happens when you begin to find ways to position yourself to serve other influencers. Jeff Elder, raise your hand, Jeff. Jeff's there. Jeff's great at VA, virtual assistant marketing. So guess what? People ask questions, and I said, you got to talk to Jeff. Now we actually have a page where if somebody needs special pricing on marketing VA services, we have a page. In other words, another example where we are promoting people when it makes sense. We can't promote everybody, but when it makes sense, in other words, I don't offer VA services, David doesn't offer that. So here's a guy who chose to show up, filled up, come to our events, keep giving. Here's another one, book cover design. Mary Valloni's husband, Gino, special link. I said give our people special rates, give them special hookups. Boom, now we have cover design. I'm paying Gino to do my 3 books, republishing them. Here's the last one, poster child. Poster child, not a poster girl, not a poster boy, poster child. Okay, so this works for all genders. Here it is. Show up, filled up. Show up, filled up. Now what does that mean? I'm going to step on some toes, but I don't mind. Okay, listen. If you buy an influencer's program or product or service, or you come to their event, and all you can do is criticize, all you can do is point out what is wrong, all you can do is email their support team 39 times about how your login doesn't work, and it's because you put a space in, and they create videos to show you, just for you personally, just to show you how the login works. They show you, here I'm pressing paste. Do you think, and some of you are laughing, but do you think that I'm like, dude, let's get that person on their stage? What do you think? Anybody?
No.
What's the alternative? The alternative is you actually engage in their content. You actually go out in the world and get results. You go out and practice what David does in Business Academy Elite when he says, here's how you do your launch, and here's how you do your funnel, and here's how you build your lead magnet, and you do it, and then here's the trick. You report back the wins. And you say, David, I watched your training on the Firestarter formula, and I did exactly what you told me, and I just increased my email subscribers by 25 people. I want to say thank you. Now, David's not keeping score, but what David says is, every time I talk to that person, they're watching the content that I spend dozens of hours creating. They're putting it in practice. They're getting results, and they're sharing the wins with the other people to encourage them. You think that gets on people's radar? I can tell you about people outside our tribe who have used the poster child strategy. They were an attendee in the audience one year. They're back on the stage speaking for a half an hour at the next year's event because of this one single strategy. You guys think this works? Anybody? Has this worked for anybody out there? Anybody out there? You've gone through someone's course, program, product, content, and you've reported back wins. You did struggle with your login, but you chose to spend time to figure it out. Now, I'm not against people with logins, trust me. But I'm saying, if you're an influencer and they're taking up 30 customer hours of support, which, by the way, your product cost 1 hour of that. You've invested 29 hours of customer support in these people, of your cash, and they're still confused. Do you think that when they say, hey, will you promote me? You're like, absolutely, here's the stage. Were you going to say something, Rick?
Yeah, so I did that recently.
Come on up, Rick. Come on, let's give Rick a hand. Come on. Listen, we got the audience, the live stream, man. You can't be speaking in the back like a church mouse. Get up here, man. All right? So what's up?
Okay, so I did that recently with a guy named John Nemo.
Okay.
Who's all about LinkedIn profiles and changing your profile. And so I just sat through one of his webinars and then altered my profile to kind of fit his model.
Yes.
So that resulted in a couple of new clients and a lot of inquiries about what I'm doing. So I just sent him an email and said, hey, I just want to thank you for the webinar. Now, mind you, I have not bought any of his products yet. I just sat through the webinar.
Free webinar.
Yeah. So I sent him an email and said, hey, thanks a lot. this is just really the start, because all I did was what's in the webinar, and so I'll probably end up buying his program
Right.
at some point. But instant results. And I let him know, and now we've gone back and forth on email several times because he's had some suggestions for me.
Awesome. And what is he getting, John, today as a result? Promotion.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? In other words, he didn't say, well, thank you, Rick, and pay me. He just said, thank you, Rick. Thanks for doing this. You probably filled his tank.
Yeah.
He probably talked about you to his wife and said, there's this amazing guy named Rick.
At least his dog.
His dog. But this is what happens. Like when you're a content creator, you're waiting for people to experience it and get results. That's why you did it. That's why you spend hundreds of hours creating this stuff. I love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Let's go. Let's keep going. And we're going to get some Q&A here in a second. Facebook told me 3 days ago that I've known Nikki for 2 years now. Now check this out. Nikki, student, 2 years ago, don't even know her. Poster child strategy. She came up and she kept getting wins. She kept saying, you know what? I watched your How module. It got results. I'm at a Barnes & Noble doing a book signing. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, she just kept sharing wins. And they were legit. Like, you can't share fake wins because people will find that out, all right? So don't try that strategy. But this was like real wins. So what happened? We hired her. Now, here's what happened before. She said, Kary, I feel like you and David are doing a great job, but I feel like you're missing something. Ooh, ouch. You better have some credibility chips right there, right? So she said, I feel like you're missing something. I feel like new authors are getting lost on some of the calls because they jump on brand new and you're talking about marketing. You're talking about launches. And she said, you guys should try something like onboarding calls. Have you ever thought about that? Now, I said, thank you very much. Let it go for 6 months. But thought about it every single day. Thought about it every single day. I'm like, that's a good idea. Dang, she's right. Bummer, all right. And finally, 6 months later, I'm like, hey, remember that idea you told me 6 months ago? I don't even know if she remembered. I said, it's a good idea. I want to pay you to do it. You going to do it? And David and I said, yeah, absolutely. We want our authors to have an onboarding experience. Started paying. In fact, she probably said, no, don't pay me. She said, I think she said, don't pay me for the first 4 weeks. If it's really good and I like it, then pay me after. I'm like, all right, whatever. But here's the point. She's now got a radio show with 108 million listeners. I'm not making this up. You can look it up. 2 years ago, nobody knows her. Not nobody. Her husband knows her and some other people, right? But nobody really knows her in that space. She goes to our program, keeps poster child, boom, 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 boom. Test her, here, we'll hire you, here. She called me 3 months ago. I didn't charge her. She said, I need help. It was a business call. I said, hey. She said, should I take this radio show? I said, absolutely. You should absolutely do this. It's fantastic. It's a great idea. David helped her with Business Academy Elite stuff. Here she is, has her own show now. 108 million listeners. We hired Lisa, Deborah, Nikki, Daphne. Okay? We hire the people who keep showing up filled up. Does this make sense? Not the people who have resumes. Now, how many of you have ever benefited from Renee's introductions? You've seen her before, Renee? Really awesome, isn't she? Renee has done this volunteer for years. Now, last year we made her like co-MC of the conference. 2 years ago we did that. When Renee comes out with a book, because she's been telling me not to pay her for all these years, I'm going to shout so loud for the world when her book comes out. I'm going to find crazy ways to like bring her on this show and interview her and this and this and this. Because I felt for like 3 years she won't take it. You see what I'm saying? So Renee, get ready, man. Sign me up. I'm part of your launch team in a big way. Okay? Now that's not why you've done it, but she just kept coming up and saying, you kind of start like, you didn't say this, but here's how I interpret it. You start kind of flat, like you need an introduction. No, she didn't say that. You didn't say that. But I'm like, do it, go. You have hair, I don't. People will listen to you. Go ahead. No, right? So here she is. Now, I'll say this before I give our one invitation call to action. This does not always turn out good. I'm going to share one train wreck, okay? The rules I gave you, what were the 3 rules, the P's? That's pretty good. Proximity, position, and poster child. You get around people, even pay your way. I've paid my way to be around certain people. Get around them. Proximity is power. Position yourself, not as a taker. How can I help this person? And don't come up to the person and say, hey, I just want to tell you, if you ever need anything, you just come talk to me. Whatever you need, you come talk to me, I got you. That person is not sitting with her husband saying, on Friday night, I really wish I had pizza. You know, there's this guy that I met who said, whatever I want, just to talk to him. I'm going to ask him to get pizza for me. Look, people do not do that. When you say, if you ever need anything, let me know, what you're basically saying is, I'm not going to care enough to spend enough time to figure out your needs. Ouch. That's it. That's what you're saying. Your heart is in the right place. You want to give to them, but you haven't spent the time. Remember, building it cost what? Time. So I tricked you out of the order, my bad. Buying takes what? Borrowing takes what? Creativity. I had to get creative with Dan Miller, with all these other people. All right, this did not go well for this dude. I'm not going to say who it is. I've asked the Lord that I do not say his name. Okay, I'm telling you, this is my big fear all day. This is what I've been thinking about. I do not want to share the dude's name, because you probably know him. There's a guy or a girl who, or young, or old, or a grandparent. No. There's a person who's really good at speaking. Really good. Really good. Like, really good. And this person has told me, I want to create a speaking business, a speaking empire, a speaking thing where I can help people become better speakers. I said, that is amazing. Are you going to do it? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm too busy speaking. I don't have time to build that. And I said, well, what if I build it for you? We already have the tribe. What if we build this whole speaking thing and then pay you to run it? This person's like, yeah, that'd be awesome. So guess what? Last year, 3 months before the Igniting Souls conference, I don't see this woman or man sign up for the conference. So I call this person. I'm like, hey, remember that idea we talked about? I've been thinking about it. I want to build it. I want to include it in part of the conference this year. We're ready. I said, but I haven't seen you sign up for the conference. And the person's like, well, I'm not going. And I said, that's cool. Like, why not? Is it something I said? Because this is the one time a year we get together, the conference. And this person's like, well, just life, business, just things are really busy. And I said, well, bummer, man, because here's what I was going to do. And they're like, oh, yeah, I can't do that now. But if you want me to live stream into the conference and I'll do that. And I'm like, no. That's it. We left it there. We're done. Now, I didn't write them off. I'm not saying it couldn't happen again. But that was the time where lots of other people were there. Abby and Nanette, and we launched the guild at the conference. I just filled the slot with something else and better people and this type of thing. So I'm saying these rules can work for you or they can work against you. It's power. Proximity, position, poster child. They can work for you, but just be careful, because when the opportunity comes, you better be ready. And that's why I got stuck in the snowpocalypse. Because I'm like, hey, I didn't know it was going to snow, by the way. But I'm like, Dan said I should be at this event. He's got influencers there. He needs me there. I'm going to be there. And so I showed up, filled up. Okay? So here's the last thing I'm going to share. We do have the conference coming. The conference is coming. October 26th through the 28th. Every single person in this room should be there. Why? You don't have to pay for a hotel. You don't have to pay for rental cars, flights. I mean, people. We got Australians that are coming with 26 hours of flights to be here, okay? So I'm going to share a tiny bit about the conference. We have, our tickets are over halfway gone, and David knows that we haven't started public promotion until about 30 days from now. So we have VIP options, we have regular tickets, but the Igniting Souls Conference, here's who it's for. Authors, coaches, speakers, entrepreneurs. Authors, coaches, speakers, entrepreneurs. If you are one of those 4 types of people, you need to be there. And it could be a coach about whatever, health, fitness, you name it. But it's at the Polaris Hilton. We grew out of the Quest. We were at the Quest for 5 years straight, 4 years straight. The only complaint you guys said last year was, it's too crowded. So we said, well, let's go to the Hilton. The whole theme is closing the gap. Closing the gap. Close the gap. What is the gap? You tell me. Is the gap influence, impact, income? Is it relationships? Is it self-limiting beliefs? You tell me what your gap is. This is ignitingsoulsconference.com. For the people in the room, I'm going to ask Renee. Thank you, Renee. I have some right there too. But if you can pass those out, I actually put the price too high on that sheet. It's a little bit less, okay? So let me tell you about it. There's a misprint after I printed it, and I'm like, I'm not going to waste trees. So anyway, I'll tell you about it here. But guess who's going to be there? Some pretty cool people. Maybe people that you need to be partnering with. We're going to talk about the 3-step process to close any gap. It's confronting the gap, combating the gap, and closing the gap. And there's a process that we've taken thousands of people through to help close the gap personally, professionally, you name it. Our conferences keep growing. Here's a picture from last year. A lot of you are in it. I'll be speaking all about a 3-step framework that's going to help you close the gap personally and professionally to create the life you desire. Dan's going to be there. Dan is doing a new talk. He's only given it, I think, one other place. The reception was huge, but he's going to share with you a formula for establishing yourself as a true industry expert that attracts high-profit, low-maintenance clients. Can anybody say amen? All right? Dan Miller is going to share with you, like, this one session is worth the price of admission. This one session is worth the price of admission. We give you 4 meals. It's 3 days. It's ridiculously underpriced. I know that because I've paid 3 times that for a 1-day event, all right, with no food. Rachel Peterson's coming. You heard Rachel Peterson recently. I'm going to just share her story. Was a single mom. Was just struggled with substance abuse. She shares this, not me. Today, she has a 7-figure social media business where she hires other single moms. She's doing crazy. Just look her up. Anybody look her up on Instagram right now. Somebody. She's actually the brand strategist that has the proof. In other words, you ever hear a social media expert and you look at them and they have 10 followers? And you're like, dude, I got 10 times more than you. I should be. How many does she have, Rachel?
105,000.
105,000 on Instagram. I mean, she's just blowing up. Huffington Post. You know why she got on the Good Morning? What did she get on? The Today Show? You know why she got on the Today Show? Because she talked about how she got a small diamond from her now husband and how to stop diamond shaming other people. And not even diamond. Maybe it wasn't even a diamond. And the world loved her. They're like, yes, finally somebody, it was great. I mean, it just hit a nerve. Social media. This is your influencer, Chris. This made Chris's list. This is the guy that Seth Godin calls, that John Maxwell calls and says, hey, I got a new book coming out. Can you interview me on your podcast? over 2 million downloads. This guy gets hired to teach you how to build your own podcast. He's the one who's going to be teaching you in our session what he normally charges hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for. He's going to give it to you guys as an attendee. And he's going to teach you how to build a six-figure business around your podcast. And there might be some strategy in there. It's not just talking about you. He brought influencers on his podcast. Did you see that? He's the one who hosts other big people on his podcast. There's a strategy there. This guy, how many of you like video games? Anybody? I don't know. Here's the point. This dude is a YouTube celebrity. Now, I never watched his show. It's crazy. But it's for gamers. So he's a YouTube consultant now. He's had 31 million views on his YouTube channel. And he's going to teach you a powerful process for leveraging your videos. Yes, your videos. Yes, some of you who say, well, I don't have the equipment. You have a smartphone. You have more technology than the government had to land a man on the moon in the 60s. Now, you have that in your hand. And if you're not using it, stop playing scared. Stop saying, well, I don't know what I'm going to say. Neither do I. I press record every day, and I have no clue what I'm going to say. All right? Maybe I know one sentence. And sometimes I do it when I'm driving my car. So David told me to buy a stand so I don't kill somebody. Okay? Right? Is this true? I'm not making this up. So I sit there. So today's video, why skeptics are different than haters. 6-minute video while I'm driving. That's going to go out. It's going to reach thousands and thousands of people. They're going to be encouraged. They're going to be helped on their day. I don't sell them anything in the video. You need to be that person. You need to be the one doing that video. Stop saying you need to be perfect. Perfection is an excuse. Perfection is an excuse that you're making. That's preventing your future fans, followers from learning about you. Well, Kary, only 20 people viewed my video. Great, do it again. Do another one. And then do another one. And keep going. All right? Did I hit you up enough? Anybody? Dexter Godfrey. Amazing speaker. When he steps off the stage, I confess the sin of envy every time. This is true. The guy's amazing. How many of you liked Dexter last year? Our audio-visual team gets panicky because the guy just never stands on the stage. I mean, do you remember his talk last year? The walking forward, walking back? They're like, we got to buy more equipment and lights just to follow the guy. All right? He's going to talk about the art and science of maximizing your message to increase your impact through the spoken word. I got to talk up Jeff here a second. Jeff's a Super Bowl champ. Steelers. You played with Ben, right?
Benny, yeah.
Benny, yeah.
They call him Big Ben.
Big Ben. I call him Benny. Don't tell him I said it. No, I'm kidding. But here's the point. I've heard him speak. You might say, where? He's my son and other people's football coach. And he talks to the parents. And I'll tell you what, when Jeff speaks, people listen. I'm serious. When Jeff speaks, people listen, and the guy has a magnetic vibe to him. I've never seen men jump so fast when you have a call to action. You know? You're not the best planner, can I say that?
Sure.
He's not the best planner, but he's like, here's my vision, and we're going to do this. And guys just start flying together. We're making it happen. That's my point. Every single person in here is a speaker. Is a speaker. You are. God gave you a mouth. You are a speaker. You do speak. Now, if you don't and use sign language, you're still a speaker. Seriously. Dexter's going to teach you how to increase your impact. Again, not coming to this session will cost you and your future business money. Not coming. David is sharing a proven system for scaling your business. A lot of you say, well, Kary, I have no more time in the day. Yeah, I agree. You will reach a point where you have no more time. You can have no more time to take on billable clients, and you need to scale your business. The guy came to me back in 2010 at the same church. I invited him to be part of my small group men's study, here we are today. He didn't even know how to log on to a blog. Remember that in the beginning? Today, he's like, dude, you don't log in. You know, like, just leave it alone, man. All right? In other words, the guy has taught, he has created a global business. If David can do it, who was a stay-at-home dad, and now he's crushing it. He's having other companies call him and say, hey, you know, let's hire you over here. You know, this type of thing, okay? Dean Folks, pastor at this church, this very location that we're here. Amazing. We hear him every week. Killer. He's going to share you how to leverage your gifts, skills, and business to address global issues. Impact. I mean, that, once you, I honestly think, once you start telling God, don't tell God anything, but if you do tell him something, tell him that if he continues to give you more resources, you're going to give more. Seriously, pray that boldly. You think some people need more money? And do you think some people need less money, right? Here's the truth. Money doesn't ruin you, it reveals you. Money doesn't ruin you, it reveals you. And some of you should be having more money because you're trustworthy. My friend once told me, he was very poor, but he said, well, once God gives me a lot of money, I'm going to start giving. I said, I'm going to tell you guys. I said, Chad, that's his real name. Don't look him up. I said, Chad, why don't you start giving money now? I don't have much. Give it now. You start giving money now, God says you're trustworthy. I can give this person more. So I kind of prayed that big, bold prayer a few years ago, and it's been working. So Dean's going to show you, like, if you're serious about giving, give. And here's some ways you can do that. Your price is wrong. It's not $397, it's $347. So folks, we took $250 off of the regular ticket. You're getting 4 meals at the Hilton Polaris, 4-star outfit, 3 days. Value, content, value, content, value, content. Here's what I know. I'm so convinced that you will get 10 times. I do this once in a while, and David always beats me up the head after. It's all good. It's all good. I'm so convinced you're going to make 10 times the return on influence and impact that if you don't after the first day. In other words, I'll let you go do a day and a half. If you can go Friday and you can go Saturday, and if you are not blown away and you get 10 times the value, we'll write you a check for exactly what you paid, any level, VIP or regular ticket, and you can eat our food, you can hang with our people, and we'll still give you a day and a half value plus your full ticket back. That's how much we believe in our program, okay? So there's really no excuse. There's no excuse, and I want you there. I don't want you to be like the one guy who, I had a plan, and he's like, I'm not coming. Well, great. That's the dumbest mistake you ever made in your life, buddy, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. All right, we're going to do a little bit of Q&A here. IgnitingsSoulsConference.com. If you're in the room, we have sheets. We are increasing prices. Why? Because people move with deadlines. So we will be increasing prices over the next, few weeks. Currently, this is early bird. We took money off the top, and we want you there. For $250 more, you're going to get VIP status. You're going to get in rooms with the influencers. You're going to get steak and seafood dinner. You're going to get a lot of benefits. Private connecting room, all kinds of stuff, just because we can do that, because we have a bigger hotel. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up here with just a couple Q&A, and we'll call it a day. So, there's our event. Anyways, I'm passionate about this topic. Who has a question about influencers? Anybody? Could be from Facebook. We'll take 2 minutes of questions. So who's got a question? Yes, Renee, and then Joel.
Is it tacky to tag influencers if you mention them? Or how do you get that in front of them? I mean, if I do a video or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think it's bad to tag people. However, I think you need to be careful. In other words, they're used to, like top celebrities are used to everybody selfie and this type of thing. I tell people that selling is serving and marketing is storytelling. So what I try to do is tell stories. In other words, don't just show up when you need something. You know, like my buddy Kyle Snyder, Olympic champion. You know, he came and spoke at our conference last year. Gold medalist, best wrestler who ever has lived, pound for pound, best in the world. I don't just promote Kyle when I need something. I'm always like, awesome win at the World Cup last weekend that nobody watches. You know, so in other words, if you really value someone, like I've seen you do this well. You heard Chastity speak, and so you were at an event where Chastity was, and you just tried to promote her. That's a great thing. If you come and hear a speaker, and then you tweet them or you promote them and their stuff, that's what you do. Now they're like, wow. And you do that often, and they're like, this person just keeps giving me value. I wonder what they're about. I'm going to check out their website. And they will want to promote you in the future. Now, if they don't, you got to do a heart check. Because trust me, if you're transactional, you're going to be mad. If you're like, well, I gave 5 gives to this person, and they never asked to give back. You will fail in this concept if that's your mindset. But if you go around, remember, how many invitations did I give to Shawshank? How many said yes? 1. So that's how I roll. I mean, do the odds. I don't know. So probably less than 10% of the time, or probably about a little bit more than 10%, it comes back to me. But people know if you're that type of person. People know that if you're just a giver, always giving, always giving, always giving. Do you think people want to be around givers or takers? Givers. Great question. Joel.
So when you receive an email from someone you've never heard of, they've never invested in you, and they're saying, hey, this partner, you should do this, how do you respond to that?
I get all the time emails from people who say, usually it's through these valet services like podcast, not podcast valet because I know those people, they're nice, but I'm saying like, hey, my author that I'm representing would love to speak to your audience, and here's why, blah, 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 blah. First of all, it's not even the author. They didn't even spend time emailing me. Second, it's their people. And third, they know nothing about the show. You know, like all this stuff. I don't even reply. Delete. Now, if someone is a person and they have a sincere request, I love to. In the back, we went to lunch last time. I gave a test. Now, he doesn't know this, but I give tests all the time. I get so many requests about people wanting to do lunch. Love it. But if I said yes, I would be a professional luncher. I'm serious. What do? I eat lunch with people. Now, I can't do that. You cannot run a business and have a family and contribute to the world if you just do lunches. So what did I do? I said, come to the fellowship and we'll do lunch after. Now, I don't even do that much. But here's the point. Not because I'm all that, but because, look, you start creating value in the world and a mission and a message, and you better be ready. You better have teams in place, systems, processes. He came, and very few people come. They're like, whatever. Or here's what I do often. I'd love to chat with you. Great, here's my book. Read it. Come up with 5 questions that you have personally, and then let's chat. Andy Stanley said it this way: do what you can for one. What does he say, Chris?
Do for one what you can't do for everyone.
That's what I do. What'd you say, Chris? Say it again.
Do for one what you can't do for everyone.
You can't say yes to everybody and have 3 kids, 12, 10, and 8, who call you daddy and still want to be around you. And you know what I'm saying? You have 7 kids, 6 kids, 8 kids. Oh, he's like, dude's got 3. What'd you say?
I gotta be selective.
Yeah. He's like, you got 3? That's easy, right? No, but you got 8 kids. And married. And a football coach, and. Look, I'm no different than you guys. But as you get a bigger stage, you better have systems and processes in place. So I say what I can't do for everyone at times. Anybody else? Good questions, comments, thoughts? All right, so let me just throw it back at you. Love to see you at the conference. Why am I hyped about it? David knows. How much money do we make from the conference itself? Hold it bigger. Hold it bigger. You guys see that? By the time, now, where do we make money? If people love what we have, and we're not a high-pitched place, but if they love what we have, then we have opportunities for more at the end. You should see our audiovisual bill, our food bill, our, all kinds of stuff. We're putting this event on for you, literally. And I just said I guarantee your ticket that you're going to have a crazy awesome time. So, love to see you there. Come back to the fellowship as well. We love you guys. We have a lot of, how many of you first time ever? Raise your hand. First time ever. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's about 30%. So good job. And thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you. All right?